HBCU legends, fans, and everybody who would like to hear this interview with Coach Tremaine Jackson, it's about to come. But I'm Coyote Mosley of HBCU Legends here tonight. It's Monday night, and it's National Championship night as well. Coach Sampson is going for his 800th win should he defeat Florida tonight in the national championship game for the men. So let's stand behind him on helping those guys at the Houston Cougars defeat the Florida Gators. Sorry, Florida fans. That's who I'm pulling for. But also, we had a great weekend this weekend in San Antonio where the HBCU All-Star game took place. Travis Williams, he brought his fourth installment of the game for the men, but he also added for the first time ever the women's portion. And both of the games, guys, were very, very good games. And if you see here, the women of Team Laney, that's for Yolanda Laney, and Team Hoskins for Patricia Hoskins. Both of those guys are legendary female HBCUers. Laney, she played for Cheney, and she won championships there. Hoskins was the all-time leading single season scorer, and she did it before they introduced the three-point line. Get that. She did it before they introduced the three-point line down there in Mississippi Valley State, and those ladies were on attendance there. It was a great show. You saw Laney pull it out with a three-pointer from Tania, and Tania Green was the MVP. She had 15.7 boards, but it was Talia Wesley who buried that game-winning three-pointer, and it was 75-73 at Freeman Coliseum in San Antonio. And, of course, the men's game, which took place out there as well, that was a nail-biter. It came down to the last seconds as well when Team Love was able to defeat Team Adels 94-92. So, and that happened with 3.9 seconds remaining in the game there in San Antonio as well. So, guys, it was a great weekend. Again, we're pulling for Coach Sampson to be able to pull off his victory, his 800th victory of his career. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I'm not going to belabor the point because I know you guys would like to hear the interview that we had with Coach Tremaine Jackson. So after these messages, you'll hear the voice of Coach Tremaine Jackson of Prairie View A&M.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
Something amazing is happening here. The next era of AI has arrived. CDW data engineers are helping organizations harness the power of AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. The power to run workloads faster means greater performance, giving your team a better shot at success. Make amazing happen. CDW.
HBCU Legends fans, it's Kyle T. Mosley here with, we're bringing this to you guys because I've been wanting to get this coach on with us for a while because I know and I can feel what he's about to bring to PV. It's none other than Coach Tremaine Jackson. What's going on, Coach?
Oh, man, Kyle, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Man, hey, Saturday, we're kicking it, but we're going to make it happen, right?
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it, man.
Look, you guys had to reschedule your scrimmage, and I know it was due for yesterday around 4:30 in Prairie View. How did it go?
It went well, man. You know, that Houston weather that I got to get back accustomed to. We really thought we would have had a big turnout today if we had kept it at 11, but then the weather started kind of getting bad on Thursday, and they canceled some softball games. And anytime they start canceling other sports, we certainly didn't want to change it. So we changed it. Ended up not even raining today at 11 o'clock, man. So it still worked out, though. We were able to practice yesterday. Had shout out to the fans that did come, man. We had some students and quite a few fans that showed up on the hill at 4:30 to watch us work. And I thought our kids had a really productive scrimmage, probably about an 85 play scrimmage, man, that we were able to get a lot of key evaluations and just see how they've grown throughout the spring.
And that's good, man. Look, of course, Houston weather off and on. You never know what you're going to get. I always tell people, hey, look, when you talk about Houston, we get 4 seasons in one day sometimes. You never know. So, look, I was due to come up there as well, but got delayed. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You've been bringing a lot of energy and a lot of passion. I was glad that you said a lot of the fans were able to still be out there to support. And I'll ask this question to you like I asked at the press conference. Why was this the most important? Well, why was this important for you to accept this position at this stage in your career?
Yeah, man. You know, I've been here 3 months and I still been getting that question, right? So I think I got the perfect answer for you worked up now.
Okay.
There's nothing like being at the right place at the right time. I thought that right now was the right time. I thought that Prairie View A&M was the right place. But then when you add the right people, it makes things go even better. And so, man, I was really excited about our AD Golf. I was really excited about the vision of our president, Dr. LeGrand. And I just thought that they wanted to make Prairie View A&M an elite FCS football program. And that's what I wanted to do. I was tired of nickel and diming and doing the small college circuit.
Right.
I wanted to coach Division I football. I wanted to do it at a place that had a vision to give our young men and our young women within our program an elite football experience, and that costs. And so does winning. And so I wanted to be with the right people that wanted to do both. And I wanted to be at a place that offered a great education. And I wanted to be at a place that had a strong alumni base so that when we started winning, because you gotta prove yourself to the people. When we started winning, that all of those things can start working together. Prairie View A&M was the right place at the right time with the right people. And then the cherry on top is that I'm from Houston. And as I look back into the history of this program, I'm not sure if there's ever been a head coach that's from Houston. And so we get really excited about that because when you're from Houston and you're from Texas in general, man, football is different for us than it is everywhere else in the country.
True.
And you better know the right people, else you ain't gonna get the right list. And so we felt like it was the right place, right time, right people, and then being from here just made it an opportunity that we couldn't pass up.
Yeah. And I recall you speaking about some influential people, especially from Houston, especially I think it was your high school or junior high school coach who was a Prairie View graduate, right? And spoke very highly of the institution. But you also have some ties to Texas Southern as well, right? Mm-hmm. One thing that I thought was great for you is to be able to give honor to both institutions and, you know, kind of solidify that, hey, I acknowledge your presence, but now I'm here at PV.
Yeah, yeah. You know, when I played there and coached there, I learned a lot. I learned a lot as a student there. I certainly learned a lot as a football coach there. Um, you know, the philosophy of transfer portal and things of that nature. I started that there. I helped get that going there. Um, some of the things that they've been able to come out of and use in recruiting to this day, we helped start while we were there. And so that's just part of the profession. That happens. That happens at OU in Texas. That happens everywhere, right? And so I do have an appreciation for being a player there and then being a coach. Make no mistake now, they fired us. And so that is a deal to where that's always stuck in the back of my head too. And as a competitor, man, you always want to show why what shouldn't have happened, what happened shouldn't have happened.
Right.
And so, but also, and I mean no disrespect by this at all. I've been at both places. It ain't close on how we do things at Prairie View A&M versus how things are done in other places. The alumni basis ain't close.
Really?
It's strong here at Prairie View A&M. And I've always had an admiration for Prairie View A&M's alumni base and how they go about their business. And even win, lose, or draw, they show up and they support each other. And people that graduated from Prairie View A&M, they love Prairie View A&M. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Down the city. So I've seen it, but you know, for me, having the opportunity to be at both places and now being in the current situation that I'm in, no doubt, man, we're going to be prepared to win all the games, especially the first one.
Okay. I want to stick on this point. And this is a point that, you know, Ralph Cooper from KCOH. I'm on with Ralph every Tuesdays talking about HBCU football during the season, right?
Yep.
And we have talked about this point for years about why HBCUs, especially in the fourth largest city in America, Houston, hasn't been a bigger presence, hasn't been more engaged. But you were saying the PV people you feel are more engaged, and coming from where you were before to now, what could HBCUs accentuate or enhance in their type of support for a football program or a whole athletic department?
Yeah, you know, I catch a lot of flack for saying this, but I'll just be honest with you, Kyle. Like, we got to stop isolating ourselves, man. And I love the fact that Prairie View A&M is an HBCU. I love the fact that I'm an HBCU guy.
Yeah.
But man, there's a whole nother world of football out there. And we isolate ourselves within the athletic realm, especially so much until we're not really as respected as we should be on the other side of the tracks. And how do I know that? I just came from the other side of the tracks.
Sure did.
And I've recruited against other SWAC schools with lesser scholarships, with lesser fan base, with lesser pageantry, but the football was different. I don't know why it's like that. I don't know how it got like that, but it's like that.
Right.
And we need to understand that we offer a great brand of football. So stop putting HBCU football in front of the name and just say we're college football.
College football.
And so I think we're our own worst enemy when it comes to that. And you know, black folks don't want to hear that. We so want our own so bad until we put HBCU in front of it. When all we have to do is go in the stadium. Actually, we have 65,000 people on campus at Prairie View A&M for homecoming, but we don't fill up a 15,000 seat stadium. It doesn't make sense.
It's mind-boggling. I was there this past year, the same thing.
So go in the stadium, and then we would be a normal college football operation instead of a HBCU football operation. Yeah. We shouldn't have to hire or wait on people to hire a celebrity before we go in the stadium. We should go in the stadium because we love our school and because we're supporting the young men and women a part of the football program. So I think we as a people, we do that to ourselves so much. My grandma fought to get out of segregation. Why are we segregating ourselves? Why don't we put the resources in our programs like everybody else and get our own and get TV contracts like everybody else instead of having to stream our games? Why we can't get on the regular ESPN? And the answer is we don't look like the other side. And the reason why we don't look like the other side is because we don't believe we look like the other side.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. You've got to believe in the product that you're bringing, right?
Yep.
And if you don't believe in that product, you're going to devalue yourself and devalue what you're being able to offer to the rest of the nation, right?
Absolutely.
I agree with you so wholeheartedly. Man, I think you hit it right there, man. But the isolation part is one aspect. But when it comes to the football part now, that's something you have excelled in. And I'll be honest with you, I thought you were a candidate for the TSU position last year, to be honest with you, before Coach Dishman was able to land it. But they went a different direction. Why, now that you are at Prairie View, you can feel a different energy there, a different sense of that? Now we finally feel like we got something or someone who can be able to take us in and get us over that hump.
Yeah, Kyle, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm no better football coach than anybody else. I got a lot of respect for people that sit in these chairs of head coaches and are responsible for these programs. And so I don't know why the energy is different, but I will tell you, Tremaine Jackson is not for everybody.
Okay.
Tremaine Jackson is really about student-athlete experience. Tremaine Jackson is really about being an elite FCS football program. And sometimes, Kyle, it's easier for you to not go with a candidate because he might ask you for too much that you're not willing to give. Now, I don't know what the situations are when people make decisions. I've been through several. This is my 18th head coaching interview in my career. When I interviewed at Prairie View A&M. Prairie View A&M and Tremaine Jackson aligned. And so, and I'll say this, it's far better to remain mediocre and not be bothered than to become elite and it rearrange what you're used to.
Right.
People don't like change. Everybody wants change. People really don't like change. And that's not just with players. And so when you're trying to change a program, what I know that I am is a program builder. And when you're trying to change a program, all the furniture gets moved. And not a lot of people want you messing with their furniture. The thing for me here at Prairie View A&M is AD Golf and I aligned on there need to be some furniture moving.
Yeah.
We needed to get some things moving. He and Dr. LeGrand aligned on what it needs to look like. I'm only adhering to what AD Golf's vision is. He's adhering to what Dr. LeGrand's vision is. And within that aligning, it allows me some room to say, hey, AD Golf, we need X, Y, and Z to be successful. Now, he only gives me that leeway because we've been successful. And so, and he's been successful as an athletic director. So when there's two people that have been successful, they know what success looks like.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just 1 hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Something amazing is happening here. In a world of data, people are accessing critical information quickly and securely. That's because CDW architects are building infrastructures with unified data storage from NetApp. With the flexibility to run workloads across any environment, providers experience less downtime, giving them more time with patients. Make amazing happen. NetApp and CDW.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
HBCU sports fans, get ready to go big. HBCU Plus is making a big move to the UEN app.
It is a wonderful start to this one.
All of your favorite HBCU games are now broadcasting live on the UEN app. But now you get even more with G League basketball, NAIA, and Miami-Dade High School sports.
Do you believe it?
It's time for you to go big. Download the UEN app to get in on all the HBCU sports action and so much more right now.
And they know that the road to success. But when you've never been successful, you really don't know, and you know it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
You might not be interested in doing that.
Yeah,
so it's easier to just keep firing people, but nobody gets it right. And what my grandma told me a long time ago is everybody ain't lying on you. And so I wanted to be at a place and with people that understood, man, there's going to be some furniture moving going on. We're going to have to get it right. But once we get it right, not only are we setting it right for now, we're setting it right forever. And long after Tremaine Jackson is away from Prairie View, whether they run me out or I leave on my own, the program's foundation is right. And so people, the next person can build off of it, and the program will always be known for winning instead of being known for being 0-80.
All right.
Instead of being known for being mediocre.
Wow, man. You've been saying some bars there, and some not only bars, but they're facts. Coach McDowell was a good coach, great person as well. When I spoke to AD Golf, he felt he needed somebody to be able to get them to that winning point. And you just said you believe you're on that track. So what is that foundation you're bringing to PV to be able to say we are already on that track, especially after only months on the job?
Yeah, so we're the Prairie View A&M Panthers, man. But we have a dogmatic mindset.
All right.
And we're bringing a level of discipline, a level of obedience, and a level of grit that not only this place hadn't seen, a lot of people haven't seen. And what I mean by that is everybody thinks we're always just talking to the players. All the players need to be more disciplined. You as a fan need to be more disciplined. You need to come in the game and stay the whole 4 quarters.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, the fans got to be more disciplined. The donors got to be more disciplined and not donate with intent to control. And so everybody has to be more disciplined. It's not just a player problem. It's a bottom-up problem, right? Like it's everybody. It's so hard to win a championship, man. It is extremely hard. And Kyle, man, we won at the last place I was at with the lesser of everything. But in people's minds, we were on top. We weren't fully funded. We didn't have the best buses. Mm-hmm. We didn't have no gear. We had to beg, borrow, and steal to get a football. When I got to that place, they only had 6 footballs.
Wow.
And so, but in people's mind, we were elite. So how do you make things that appear elite really elite? There's a discipline that goes with that. There's a discipline in myself saying, when we order certain things and when we go about aligning things up it has to match up with the vision of the overall athletic department. There's an obedience that goes with it. Everybody has to submit and comply with the authority for the greater good of the organization. I submit and comply when AD Golf tells me something. Yeah. I don't have to agree. It's not my job to agree, whether I agree or don't. It's my job to submit and comply with the vision for the greater good of the organization, and vice versa when it comes to the people that fall under me. Everybody has to submit and comply. You might not like it, but this is the way it is. I want Gatorade. I don't want water. Well, that's not how we done it. Man, I want Gatorade. It's just give me Gatorade. Don't tell me what you've done. Right. Just give me the Gatorade.
Yeah.
And so, last but not least, man, there's a grit that goes along with it. And grit is simply passion and perseverance for long-term and meaningful goals. And here's where we go wrong. People think I care about them being tired. I don't care about you being tired. There's a passion and a perseverance that comes with winning.
Right.
And so our players have to have it. Our fans got to have it. Our coaches got to have it. Our administration has to have it. And when we do it correctly, we get the result we want. Because here's what we're not trying to do, Kyle. Anybody can win a championship one time. Anybody.
Right.
You can catch the right stride, the win, knock over the game-winning field goal, and you mess around and win one time. Can you win consistently? Can you win year in and year out? Why do people talk about Alabama under Nick Saban? Because every year they was going to win 10, and
That's
you
right.
knew it in August.
Right.
You knew it in August. There's nobody that you can say that about in HBCU football. There's nobody. You don't know that. You don't know in August that somebody's going to win. It's up for grabs right now. I want to be the team in the program that when they cut the grass August 1st, you know them Panthers going to be somewhere playing in December. That's the passion that we have. But there's a perseverance to get there.
Right.
It's a year-round job.
Right.
It's not just an August to December job. It's a year-round job, not just for players, not just for coaches, but you can't be a fan just in August. You can't be a donor just in August.
Right.
You got to be a donor year-round.
Yeah, year-round.
You got to be a fan year-round.
Coach, you said something that I learned a long time ago with my old band director. Discipline, determination, desire, but you got to have that tenacity as well.
Absolutely.
You can't be willing to just give up easily when things get a little bit tough.
Yeah.
And when you're moving that furniture, you got to understand we're doing it and things are kind of bad and it's a little chaos, it's tense, but we know we're doing it for a purpose. We got to get on the same page, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard and it's very uncomfortable. Especially for those that have been in certain spots for long periods of time. It's uncomfortable.
Got it.
Here comes a guy talking about we're going to win in year one. And like they said at the press conference you was at, I hear you talking that big talk. Well, raise your hand if you won 25 games in the last 2 years at a place where that might or might not be good enough.
Right.
And so we don't talk big talk. We're as humble as humble pie, but we do understand that our processes work. We're very confident in our processes, and all we need to do is let the players play, coaches coach, administrators administrate, and fan. And if everybody does that,
we're all good.
So we're gonna be there. We're gonna be there, man. And you, like I tell them, you might be mad at me, but when we win the championship, you're gonna pour water on me and want to kiss the trophy too. So just start getting your lips puckered up because the trophy's coming.
Love it. Love it. You've got to have that determination. You got to have that focus and belief in yourself as well, right? Challenges always have presented themselves, especially when it comes to recruiting, but you have always been listed as one of the best recruiters out there in the market. Have you faced many challenges, or are you on track to where you want to be early on in this process of building the winner in the championship team over at Prairie View?
Yeah, I think we've taken the correct step forward, but it's an ongoing process. These days in time, man, on Monday, this House settlement on April 7th is supposed to come out. That's going to change the trajectory of what we know today as college football. I do think we're prepared to fight and compete on a level because of our AD and his efforts even before I got here. And so we are in a different space than what we probably would have been in 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago with the things that are looming in our game. As far as recruiting goes, I'm never going to be satisfied with where we are in recruiting. Never. Recruiting is kind of like this line on my beard, man. If I don't look at it every day and make sure it's straight, it'll start to look bad after a while now. And we want to make sure it's straight.
It's straight. And
so we won't know what we are until the end. We won't know if we've done a really good recruiting job until we hold up the trophy. We hold up the trophy, we did a hell of a recruiting job. We don't hold up a trophy, we did a bad recruiting job. And so that's just how we look at it. And being where we've been in the past, we know that recruiting is not just what people think or who people think are good players, but it's who fits what we want to do. And we're constantly evaluating that now. And I do think when this portal opens April 16th, Prairie View A&M is going to be a popular spot for a lot of people. And we're going to have the resources and the funds to be ready to fight.
Yeah, I listened to Coach Prime, and when he first took over at Jackson State, when we talked, he was saying the most important thing for him is being able to find guys, especially through that transfer portal, who align with the vision, but also had some experience and knew how to play the game of football. What's your philosophy on when you look at a candidate from the portal?
Yeah, man, we've got critical factors that we try to meet at every position. Okay. And so if you notice, Kyle, we haven't had a walk-on trial. Sometimes the walk-on trials, they don't meet your critical factors. Unfortunately, we got a lot of 5'8" guys. We don't need no more 5'8" guys. If they're shorter than me, you can't play at Prairie View.
Okay.
Just telling you, unless you're just that fast, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the guys we get that walk up, they're neither, right? They're neither tall nor fast. That's just a harsh reality of it. We love you. There's a place for you. It's just not at Prairie View A&M. And so what we do is really look in that portal to see who meets our critical factors from a size standpoint first, and then start doing our research on guys on whether they can play. We've got access to Pro Football Focus that tells us stats and things that guys, how many games they played in, and gives us pretty much a highlight tape of what they've done in their career. Excuse me.
Right.
We also start doing the research of guys that we know a lot of people, man. These guys I got with me on my staff, I got the largest staff in Prairie View history, but I also got probably the most experience on our staff because of the people that we have, and we got a lot of connections. So we start calling guys to see, what happened to the kid. Why is he in the portal? Getting the background story that you really can't get off the internet when everybody puts their letter out, right? That I'm getting in the portal, praise be to God, AGTG, all the stuff that these guys.
Yeah, with much reflection, yes.
Yeah, with much reflection, and really thank you for what you done, but I'm leaving. When everybody does that, we really get to work on the backstory. And what we found is a lot of times coaches have really made that decision for a lot of guys. And I think that's what we're going to find on April 16th. So
when you talk about coaches making that decision, more coaches were too tough, not good coach, or all the above? What?
The most common thing we see and what we hear from guys is I get recruited one way, and then I get there and people are different.
Totally different.
The switch-up game is real in coaching now. And the one, if you can't, Prairie View A&M, I ain't got no money. All I got is opportunity, and I promise you we're going to be who we are in recruiting all the way through your graduation. We're not going to change. And a lot of people get on there and do all this fluff and flim and wear the hat backwards. That's not us. We just don't do that. I don't wear chains and all that stuff, man. That works for some people. That doesn't work for me. We're going to be who we are every single day, which is a disciplined, obedient, and gritty group of people. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. And so a lot of guys appreciate that from us because we don't have to de-recruit people because we never give them all that fancy fluff stuff in recruiting. We don't tell them how great they are. And if I see a D lineman in the portal, I go, hey, man, here's where I think you're deficient at. And as a D-line coach, we're going to help get you efficient in your deficiency.
How do they usually receive it?
At first, it's a shock because they probably just got off the phone with somebody that told them how great they was and they was going to fly them up first class and do all this nonsense.
Right.
And, man, you got to have some stake in the game when you come to Prairie View A&M. Get in your car and drive from Dallas. I'm not flying you from Dallas. Drive from Dallas. You pay for your own gas. What that lets me know is that you care and Prairie View A&M is a viable option for you. We might not get you, but at least you got some skin in the game. Gotcha. And so I'm looking for guys that's got skin in the game, man, because if I do everything for you, then when you get here, you're going to expect me to do everything for you.
Right.
And that's not the reality. It just ain't the reality. And then you're not tough enough if I gotta do everything for you. So that's how we do it.
Coach, you sound like how I was brought up. My dad was going to give you everything. You're not going to be entitled here. Not in the Mosley household. You've got to be able to work. Yeah. And look, man, I miss games. I miss everything. Hey, I told you to work first. That's the most important thing. And I love what you're saying, but these days, these kids are enamored with NILs, right? Has that been an issue for you, and how do you navigate through it?
Yeah, one, let me say this. Prairie View A&M football can fight with NIL. We have some things NIL-wise to fight with. So that's a plus because a lot of people don't think Prairie View A&M football can fight NIL. We can compete with the best of them NIL-wise.
Okay, good to hear.
But here's what I'll tell you. With the transfer portal, because we are a transfer portal football team. That's who we are. We're not going to run from that. We're not going to hide from that. That's who we are. The guys that we're looking for in the portal, I want them when they want opportunity. I don't want them when they want to get paid. I want them when they're trying to prove that they can play, like they said. So here's what we tell them. Go over there to get paid. Come here when you're ready to win and you're ready to prove that you are who you say you are. Wow. Don't come here to get paid and then you miss weights and I can't do nothing about it. Now that's not it. Come here when you're truly ready to compete for a national championship. Not the Meineke Bowl, but a national championship. And when you're ready to prove you are who you say you are. And so what people say is, Kyle, well, do you get that kid? The answer is yes. Because when you challenge a kid, a competitor, on a competitive level, he'll respond. But when you challenge a coward on a competitive level, he'll bow out and he'll go take the money.
That's right.
And so I'm not saying I'm against NIL. I'm not saying I don't want kids to get whatever they deserve. What I'm saying is if it's about that, more than the opportunity to prove who you say you are, I'm not interested. I ain't interested. And so really the kid that we get, he probably done went to an SEC, Big 12, whatever school, got paid. He already got the challenger. Now it's time to come to Prairie View and get on this grass. That's what time it is. Bring your challenger, put all your stuff in the back, and come get on this grass. And so you can go get money long term. So I give you 10,000, I can give you 100,000, whatever.
Yeah.
But you can go get 400,000 if you come ball on this grass. Wow. And you can get it over time. You can get 400 a year. And so no different than what Coach Prime said, man. You want some NIL money or you want to go to the NFL? You tell me. NIL versus NFL.
NFL. Which one is better? Yeah.
I never played in the NFL. I wish I did. I probably wouldn't be sitting there talking to you today. I'd be on the beach. But because I know I've interned and I've seen guys who've changed their whole family trajectory by putting in the work now and then enjoying the benefit later. And here's what I'll tell you. I told a kid this today on a recruiting visit. Prairie View A&M is like retirement, right? It's like what people think about retirement. You do all your work on the front end, and then you can retire. So you come in our program, do all your work, and then, man, you play well enough, you'll give yourself a shot. We got 2 guys in the league right now that just signed new contracts, so it can be done from Prairie View A&M.
That's right.
It can be done.
Yeah.
But what most people want to do is retire without doing no work.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
November is American Diabetes Month. And while nearly half of us have diabetes or prediabetes, every story is personal. There are stories of strength.
Every day is different, not one day is the same.
Hard work.
No es tenerle miedo realmente a la enfermedad, es saber cómo combatir la enfermedad.
And heartbreak.
When she passed away, it was because of diabetes.
But no matter your diabetes story, we fight for you and to find a cure. Join us at diabetes.org.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
And filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday. I love you. I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me to you.
I am genius.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
Yeah, they want the, how you say, the thrill of and all the glitz and glamour, right? Yeah. But it takes some grind and some grit and some determination to get through all that to say, yeah, I made it. Look, it's like that in journalism. I face that all the time as well, Coach.
Absolutely.
So, your coaches, Coach. I have a good relationship with your defensive backs coach, Gehringer.
Yeah, DG.
Man, he's a good guy, real good guy. The one thing I liked about how he works with the kids and he develops those young men. And in talking to some other guys, they're saying, hey, Coach Jackson's that way as well. And he has like-minded guys on the staff who does the same thing. Have you been able to find your players who were already there that they're going to buy in, or are you just pretty much like starting from scratch and with all the transfers or bringing in more people?
Yeah. So we had guys, the guys that are here now, the majority of them were here on the roster when we got here. I'll say this about the transition, man. The guys that are in spring ball with us right now, that were here last fall, have bought in tremendously to what we're trying to get done.
Good to hear.
They knew exactly what they had and what they didn't have, and they knew what they needed. And they've been spot on. And one thing about players, man, whether it's going good or going bad, they always know the real. And so they were very upfront with AD Golf before he started the search on what they felt they needed. They've been very upfront with me on what they felt like they needed, and they were spot on, even according to some of the previous staff I've talked to, on what they thought they needed. And so players know. They know. I will tell you, we apply so much pressure to people that if you are phony and you really not what you say you are, man, you're going to quit. And that's not just players. That's players, coaches, support staff. If you are not who you say you are, you're going to quit because it's that much pressure being applied here. You mentioned something earlier about what your father taught you. We are a parentally led program. We don't negotiate. We don't say, well, what do you think? We don't do none of that. We tell you exactly what we want you to do. And we expect you to get it done exactly the way we tell you to get it done. And when we recruit guys, I tell their parents, you told them to take out the trash? Yeah. Did you ask him or did you tell him? Oh, I told him. All right, that's what we're going to do in football. We're not going to, hey, can you run this route at 7 yards? It'd be really good. No. Run the route at 7 yards, be exactly where you're supposed to be, turn around with the technique that I taught you. That's how we do it. That's foreign. That's foreign these days because a lot of coaches out here negotiate and then wonder why they can't control them in the end, right? And so I'm not trying to be controlling, but I'm parenting because sometimes they don't know what's best for them until they know what's best for them. And so we try to protect them from them. And this group has adhered to that, even though it's been tough. The way we practice, I don't know how anybody else practice, but I don't know how many people can make it through our practices because these guys couldn't in the beginning. They had to get conditioned for our practice. Kyle, one day we sat and stretched for about an hour and a half. We just sat and stretched. We had to get the stretch together. It has a sound. Winning has a sound. And I wanted to make sure I heard the sound. And I wanted them to hear it. And so that way we don't ever have to do that again. We did it at the last place. And so these guys have adhered to it. We did lose a lot of guys in the portal, though. We lost some good football players in the portal. But here's what I tell people. If I had the trust in the administration, because AD Golf met with everybody, told everybody, hey, we're going to hire a coach. Before you get in the portal, just give me a chance to hire a coach. If I really respected the place I was at, I would have gave him that opportunity. The guys that didn't give him that opportunity, they shouldn't have been at Prairie View A&M anyway. And looking at some of the guys that left, they might have been good players. They wouldn't have made it. If they left before they knew what was happening, then the amount of pressure we was going to apply to them, they would have folded.
Yeah.
So it was better for them to go to the places that they went to. Because, man, our program will break you. It will break you because we're not willing to negotiate when a lot of people are.
Well, Coach, what can you do for an old guy like me? Because I think I need to suit up. You know, I was originally recruited by Prairie View. I should have been a part of PV, but I went over to Morehouse.
So, you know, everybody make mistakes. No, I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you.
Yeah,
you got some eligibility. See our compliance officer. We taking all coming. Anybody that's got some discipline, obedience, and grit, we interested.
All right. Talk about. Is it too early to talk about your quarterback situation and some of the other special things that people love to hear around this time?
Yeah, man, we're playing with 5 quarterbacks right now. You know, we brought 2 in Tyler Nelson and Blake Murphy when we got here. Deuce was already here. Barrington, he was already here. And Lucas Coley and Cam they were already here. So we got 5 guys in that room. I would venture to tell you we're gonna put a 6th guy in that room because we absolutely love the competitiveness that has to happen in that room. When people ask me who the quarterback at Prairie View A&M is gonna be, it's really simple. The quarterback at Prairie View A&M for me is going to be the guy that takes care of the football and has won the football team. Because people will not follow somebody that has not won them over. They might not like them. They might not like their ways, but if they won them over by the way that they go about their business and how they study, and if they're wanting the same greater good that they want, they'll follow. And so we have yet to see that, and we won't see it. We're not expecting to see it until August when we get in fall camp. And so we'll get 2 weeks out from the first game, and we'll make a decision on that. If you look at my track record as a head coach, we've always done that when we had new quarterback changes, and we've always had successful quarterbacks because I think it's the way we go about getting them ready and making them compete. And so those are I do like where those guys are right now. They're competing. A couple of them had a really good scrimmage yesterday, and so we'll keep charting and grading and see who comes out on top, and then who comes out as the second guy, because you're gonna get to your second string quarterback as half the conference found out a year ago with all the quarterback issues that went on in this conference. And so
yeah, that's true. So
we got to make sure that second guy is ready to go as well.
All right, talk about last couple of things. Let's talk about if you had to have some guys listen to this video between you and I, and if you are talking about some positions that you'd like to solidify or get solidified or get some new blood into those positions, what will some of those positions be that these kids may want to reach out and touch you?
Yeah, man, you listen, I'm a D-line guy. I want all the D-linemen in the world, but I want the D-linemen that really want to be great D-linemen. I want the D-linemen that love the drama and the action of hitting another man in the face and getting off a block and chasing a tackle down. And I want the D-lineman that wants to play D-line at the next level. And so if that's you, come get coached. We need wideouts. Or let me say this, we want wideouts. We want wideouts in a major way because we plan on putting that ball in the air. We plan on putting that – it ain't no secret, man. We run an air raid offense. We're going to put that ball in the air. And here's what I know in HBCU football, the trumpets stand up first. When that receiver running wide open, the trumpet player go, oh, let me get ready. And he stands up first. And we want the trumpets to stand up a whole lot. So we need some wideouts. We want guys that's going to go up and get the ball, but we got to have O-linemen. We absolutely got to have them every which way, but we don't want sawed-off O-linemen. We want long 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" guys that have an aspiration on getting drafted. Not just playing on the next level, but getting drafted. And if you look back at where we've been, there's a right tackle for the LA Chargers that played at a school with only 900 people that we recruited, and he was 6'7", and now he's kick sliding in the NFL. We know what it looks like. And then for me too, man, that corner and that safety, DG does such a great job with those guys. Him and Coach Anderson, our defensive coordinator, who handles the safeties. We want guys on the back end that want to be ball hawks. Again, man, you just I don't like saying Google us and all that stuff, but you got to look at where we've been and put yourself in that success realm, right? We've had guys with 19 picks in 2 years. I don't know nobody in our area right now that's had that. Even in the past.
19 in 2 years.
Yeah, a guy had 19 picks in 2 years. He went 10-9. And so we've coached that. We know what that looks like. This system allows you to do that. And so if you're a secondary guy, we certainly want to talk to you in a major way. So those areas, D-line, the secondary, receiver, and the O-line, we want to continue to grow and glow those positions, man, because those positions can really help us along with the rest of the guys we got on this roster.
Okay, cool. All right, Coach, you talked about a couple of save dates. You talked about the transfer portal opening up, and you guys are thinking about what's going to happen after the legislation, right? But what are some of those special dates going ahead that we need to be paying attention to about your program?
Yeah, so April 17th is the next one, man. It's our spring game, spring scrimmage. Really haven't decided what format we're going to do. But what we like to see happen, it's a Thursday night before Good Friday. We know a lot of people don't go to work on Good Friday. We like to create a mini homecoming environment on that Thursday night, starting with our students. We did this on a Thursday night for our students. And everywhere I've ever been, we've had the spring game on Thursday night so we can increase the students. I want a student section to be the best in the SWAC. We're going to get a new section in the stadium for our students so that they can be closer to us and so that they can be rowdy and really make the noise that I think college football has in the environment of college football. And so we need the students to show up, but we also need the people that's typing and watching podcasts to come on down 290 and get on this hill with us on that Thursday night. After that, man, we kind of go silent for a little bit. School has to finish up with finals and things of that nature. We bring our players back on Memorial Day, and then we get to work, man. It's 8 weeks of putting the head down to get going. And then we bring our guys to camp at the end of July. And after that, the next few dates that'll be important, we'll release those, but it'll be the second week in August and third week in August. We'll kind of have our mock game and our open scrimmage. I'm really big on having some open scrimmages for the fans because we close practice all week. And so having some open time, kind of like some taste testing. When you go and taste test something, get a chance to see it. You might not get the full thing, man, but you get a chance to at least get your eyes on it. And what I know about us is we nosy, right? So we want our people to come out and be nosy, not have to wonder, not have to chatter. Come see some of the guys that we got coming and the guys that we'll have in camp so that they can get this August 30th game promoted because that's the date. After the spring game, man, the date is August 30th. It's my birthday, but most of all, it's the day that we come off this hill.
Yeah.
And I told everybody what was going to happen when we come off this hill.
Yeah.
And so it's the date where either I'm telling the truth or I'm telling a lie, but you got to buy a ticket to come find out.
That's right. All right. Coming off that hill, but you're going to be down in Houston, in H-Town, at Shell Energy Stadium, playing against Coach Dishman and those guys. They call themselves the Texas Southern Tigers. Coach, let's be for real. You can lose every game going forward, but this game for the PV faithful, they've got to win because they felt they lost something then when they lost that trophy last season. What can the fans expect from you on your birthday?
But even before my birthday, the fans can expect for me to tell them to donate to our Excellence Fund because it costs to win. So you can't have an expectation that we're going to win August 30th and you've kept your hands in your pocket and not donated anything. That's the first thing they can expect. But the second thing they can expect is when we bring this team down to 90 and get into Houston, we're going to be a prepared football team that's ready to play a complete football game in a disciplined manner. And I would be telling you a story if I told you that we weren't going to make mistakes, if we weren't going to have some issues. But I will tell you, it is with the full intent of my soul for us to play extremely well and execute at a high level and play with high levels of enthusiasm and leave Houston with a win. But the win is not so much because it's Texas Southern. It's because it's the opportunity that we have to start off our journey together in a setting of me being the head coach, this staff being in place, AD Golf and I going into a competitive situation for the first time together. That's more important to me. Our kids playing for one another. I'm looking for those things. If we do those things the right way, our fans will be able to celebrate. But as soon as that game's over, when we're successful, we're going to get ready for the next one because that's what we do in college football. And I want to be very clear on that. We celebrate rivalries. We're excited about them. But once the rivalry is over, y'all can talk about it. I'll never speak of it again because we have to continue to get ready. We treat compliments and criticisms the same. And so whatever happens is going to happen. We're going to line up and get ready for the next one. But we are extremely excited. I've never been in that stadium. I've never been in it. So as a former player, I'm excited. But I'm even more so excited to walk in there in this purple and gold, man, and see what we're going to do as a football program.
All right, Coach. Love it. All right. Tell everybody how they can find you on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, all my handles are the same, man. Twitter, Instagram, or X Instagram, and those things, man. It's at Coach Jack 212, at Coach Jack 212, and then on Facebook for the older crowd, my mama crowd, it's just my name, Tremaine Jackson. I'm only on Facebook because my mama on Facebook. But for the people that are in her grad class and a little bit older that might not know how to work the other stuff, my name is there. We try to, in PV AMU football _ is our handle on Twitter or X there, and then PVAMU FB on Instagram are our handles there. We try to do a lot on social media to try to keep people engaged with what we're doing, and our media team does an extremely good job. Full of students. We don't have a full-time media person. They're students. They do a really good job of getting out, so we're really excited about that. So I would be remiss if we didn't talk about our social media networks.
Great pictures. If you guys haven't seen those videos as well, early in the morning pictures. That's what I love about it. Early in the morning, those guys are putting it out there, and they are promoting the Prairie View Panthers football team. Love it. Keep up the great work, Coach. And, I'm going to be down there. Tell them don't turn me around at the gate. They used to always do that to me. They say, that's Mosley. Get him out of here.
No. You're more than welcome. Tell them I told you to come. They'll let you right on in, man. It's been a pleasure, man. I really appreciate the time to talk about our program and just sports in general, but appreciate the job you do and the coverage that you provided for us.
Yeah, definitely. As Bernie Mac would say, hey, now that you're part of the HBCU Legends family, you can't get rid of us. You are here, and we are part of you as well. We got so much similarities as well. My dad was a Q, and I was about to be a Q until I had to kick my brothers off the campus. That's a different story. But other than that, man, I appreciate everything that you've done, and I look forward to seeing you this summer and chatting up with you once more. Okay?
Kyle, always, man. I appreciate you. Go Panthers.
All right. That's Coach Tremaine Jackson of the Prairie View Panthers. Check them out, guys. Thank you, Coach. Take care now.
Appreciate it.
Have a good weekend. Okay, guys, that was our talk with Coach Tremaine Jackson. We'll be back with Robert Jones. He's the young man out of Howard University, and he's a draft choice. He runs a 4.4, guys, and he's a great young defensive back. But not only that, he's a great person. I'm sure you're going to enjoy his conversation. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just 1 hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Something amazing is happening here. In a world of data, people are accessing critical information quickly and securely. That's because CDW architects are building infrastructures with unified data storage from NetApp. With the flexibility to run workloads across any environment, providers experience less downtime, giving them more time with patients. Make amazing happen. NetApp and CDW.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
All right, guys, it's Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends, as well as the Black Sports Insiders. I'm here with a future draft choice of whomever would decide to make the smart choice and select this young man. I let him on the program, even though he's a Bison, even though he went to Howard, but he held it down in that defensive backfield. Kenny Gallup Jr., as well as a couple other guys. We're here with none other than Robert Jones III. What's going on, Robert?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man. Glad to be here.
Oh, well, it's good to have you. You've been very diligent in following up with me, and I appreciate that. And I just wanted to be able to give you a chance to be able to talk your story, as well as let people know who Robert Jones III is. If you guys didn't know, Robert was a part of that Bison class. You guys went to Celebration Bowl last season, or season before last, and you guys had a very good year that year. This year, you had wasn't quite the year that Coach Scott and you guys wanted, but you still played very, very well. And we want to focus on that as well. Before we talk a little bit further with Robert, make sure you go to HBCU Legends on all of our social media channels, as well as follow up with us on YouTube as well. All right, Robert, talk to us. Who is Robert Jones III?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to speak on, honestly. I've done a lot over the course of my life. My life has changed in so many different ways. Growing up, I grew up in the PG County area in Fairwood. Both my parents, raised me well. I grew up doing kung fu. I didn't even play football. Yes, sir. I didn't play football until the 5th grade, and so up until that time, I was, I thought I was gonna be a ninja or something, trying to be one of the kung fu greats. I ended up getting my black belt in the 6th grade. I was the youngest in my kung fu school to get my black belt, and then after that, that's kind of when the football dream started kind of pushing me a little bit. I really didn't even know that I wanted to pursue football fully until I got to high school, because that's when I was like, okay, I'm actually pretty good at this. Like, I can actually do something.
Yeah.
And so get to high school. At DeMatha, I was honestly, truly, and this really has been the course of my career, really my whole life, was I never really was the star, the one that everybody kind of looks at. Everybody, oh yeah, who's that. But I always have a way of making my way and making my presence felt, eventually. And so my junior year, had a good junior year. Then COVID hit, kind of put an end to really my football season in high school. Didn't have a senior year. Ended up committing to Howard, and then getting to Howard, putting my head down, going to work. Ended up starting my last game of my freshman year at Howard. And then ever since then, it's been all about the work and, just putting it on the field every year.
Wow, that's quite a move that you guys made. What was it about your game that Coach Scott saw that he felt he can trust in you your sophomore year?
So really, I don't know. I mean, really, I've just always been like a, confident guy, confident player. What a lot of people don't know is that I actually got recruited to Howard to play receiver. And
really?
So, I came in, I was a receiver for, like summer workouts and stuff when I came in as a freshman. And then like literally the week before camp, or like 2 weeks before camp, I went in Coach Scott's office and I said, Coach Scott, I want to play defense. I want to play DB. And so that was something I had been, training a little bit towards the end of my high school. But like I said, I had no senior season because of COVID. So I had really never really played DB in a game yet for except for like 2 or 3 spring games at DeMatha. And so I went to him, I said I wanted to play DB, just crafted, got after it every day in practice, got after it any chance I could during the games. And then finally, the last game of the season, they gave me a start. I had a great spring, great spring football session with Howard. And then I asked him, to transition. I changed to number 1. And then from there on, kind of created my legacy in number 1 at Howard.
Wow. A lot of guys have made that transition from wide receiver to defensive back What was it for you that made it kind of seamless?
For me, it was just I had a pretty high IQ. I feel like at receiver, which also helped me on defense. So like when I first transitioned to DB, I had a real good understanding of like just route recognition and just understanding like okay holes in the zones. Okay, the quarterback's gonna try and throw it here because we're in cover two. So now I know I got to think a little bit more to take away this window because when I was at receiver, I'll be like okay, how do I set this DB up so that I can get to my spot easily. So it's just always like a constant, mental game for me, honestly. Even to this day, I feel like that's one of the most important parts about playing DB and just, most important parts of defense in general is just like film study and knowing what they're trying to do so you can stop it.
Yeah. I love wide receivers. I love defensive backs. I love running backs. Those were the three positions I always loved to play as well. So kudos to you on that. This past year, you were named the 2024 preseason All MEAC third team selection, and also you are part of the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Talk about that Legacy Bowl experience, because when I had a chance to talk to guys like Robert McDaniel from Jackson State and Herb Mulligan, they really loved their time there. What made it so special for you?
Yeah, it was a special experience down there, most definitely. Being able to get around those guys, other guys who are the best players in HBCU, and then not only compete with them on a day-to-day basis, but then you spend all that time off the field with them, and you really start to bond and get to know people from different areas, different schools, start hearing their experiences, share experiences, and then we're doing it all in New Orleans, which is such a great city. Definitely had some great food down there, some great entertainment. After the game, we were able to go out on Bourbon Street a little bit and just hang out there. So it was a good experience, man. Just being able to play great competitive football and then also build some bonds off the field too.
Oh yeah. Well, look, you speaking my language. That's my hometown. New Orleans, Louisiana, born and raised there. I was due to be at the Legacy Bowl, but unfortunately, we had a death in my family. I couldn't be able to attend. But Doug Williams, James Shaq Harris, every year they put on a great showcase to be able to feature young guys such as yourself. Now, a lot of the scouts don't have a chance to really get to know.
Yeah.
Were you able to make any invitations or have any type of good, solid conversations with the pro scouts when you were there in New Orleans?
Yeah, I did talk to a couple of different teams. Really just like, small talk kind of on the sidelines or or things like that. I didn't have any like formal interviews set up. And, that was something that I was really appreciative of because especially, coming from an HBCU, a smaller school, like you said, a lot of those scouts, there won't really be an opportunity for them to be face to face and really like talk and get to know prospects and stuff. And I think that's something that especially for me, that I kind of like miss out on because I know that if I do get a chance to get in front of these people and actually get to talk ball or you really just hear me talk in general, honestly, I feel like I enunciate well, I come across in a good manner. So if people actually do take the time to hear me and like hear my thoughts out, I know they'll be impressed with what I have to say.
Yeah, that's great, man. I know your agent has been working with you quite frequently throughout this whole draft process. Talk about how the training has been for you. What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Oh yeah, the training it was great. I was training out in Virginia at Perfect Performance. My guy Leonard and Coach Luke over there, they were getting me right. It was some tough days, especially because I'm still in school, so I still have
really? Okay.
I still have 4 classes that I have to finish up so that I can graduate in May. So I used to, have to get up at 6 in the morning, drive over to the facility. I'll go work out over there from about like 7:30 or 8 to basically like 12. And then I would turn around and I'll have a class at Howard. So I would have to drive from there over to Howard and then go to class at 1 p.m. And then I would have another class at like 3 p.m. And so I was doing that Monday through Thursday and then still going to work out on Fridays and Saturdays. So
wow.
Yeah, it was a grind for sure, but it was most definitely worth it. I appreciate all the time that I got to spend over there, and I appreciated, all the knowledge and stuff that I learned from them, and it definitely helped out and helped me out on pro day as well.
Yeah, that's pretty good for you to have that dedication, what you were able to do. Um, Before we go into the pro day, talk
Yep.
about what's your major.
I'm a business management major. Yep. So I'll be
Business
getting a
management. All right.
yeah, bachelor in administration with a management concentration from Howard in May.
That's what I like to hear. A
Most
student
definitely.
athlete graduating, getting that degree, having that diploma in your hand, something you could be able to use to lay the foundation for your future growth as a professional in whatever you do. If
Yes,
it's
sir.
not football, whatever you have the opportunity to do. So I love that, man. Now you went through your pro day. How was your performance there?
Yeah, I was extremely grateful for the pro day opportunity. Just because, at the HBCU combine, I felt like my numbers didn't particularly display who I was completely.
Okay.
It was kind of a quick turnaround. I had started training in, January, at the beginning of January, and the combine was essentially, in the beginning of February. So only having a month to really go and train and then try and get the numbers right. It was just some things technique wise that I had to clean up a little bit, in some of my runs and stuff like that. So it was really a blessing to come back out at pro day. I was able to run in the 4.4s. I was, time anywhere from
4.4.
4.45. Yes, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
All
Yeah. I ran
right.
one scout had me at a 4.45, and I think the other scout had me at a 4.5. So they just average it. That's how they do it for the pro days. So they put me at a 4.48 officially. So I was able to run in the 4.4s. That was my goal. Really, I actually ended up getting a little banged up down at the Legacy Bowl. So when I came home, I
Really?
was
Oh,
I was
man.
actually doing rehab when I came home. So I wasn't able to train. I was doing straight rehab. Got to it and was able to,
And
get
still
healthy
hit a 4.4.
and still hit a
Wow.
4.4. Yeah, and it's like, that wasn't even. If I'm being 100% honest, that wasn't even 100%. So I was, before pro day and all that kind of stuff, I was aiming for 4.3 when I first started training. Shoot for the
Wow.
stars. So who knows? If I was healthy, I might have hit that. But I'm not complaining. God is good. He allowed me to go out there and run, and just put it all on the line. So it was a good day for me on pro day.
Man, excellent day.
Yes,
And
sir.
I'm proud of you on that. Were you able to, now you say you had to rehab, was it a lower body injury, upper
Yeah.
body injury?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was a lower body injury. So we were doing one-on-ones down there at the Legacy Bowl, and a guy, he had kind of fell on my knee, and I had sprained my MCL. And so they were
Oh,
saying 4 to 6 weeks. I didn't even know if I was gonna be back in time to do pro day because our pro day was five weeks from the date that I got hurt. And they were
okay.
telling me 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm like, man, like I don't know what's gonna happen. It was kind of up in the air. I really didn't even start back running again until the week before we had pro day. And I was
Really?
still able to, go out there and put together some decent times. Still put up 14 on the bench press. Jumped to 38 vertical. So, I was still able to go out there and put together some good numbers.
Hold on, man. You got that type of hops, you jump in 38 vertical.
Yeah,
Really?
facts. Facts. Yeah. I was shooting for a 40, man, but I'll take whatever God allows me to do, man. I'll take it. Trust.
Well, congrats on that, man. Look, guys, if y'all don't know, hitting close to 40 inches is a feat for any ball player, basketball player, football player. It doesn't matter. That's quite good as your vertical, man. So,
Definitely.
congratulations on that one, man.
I appreciate it.
Okay, talk to me about right now. You are setting yourself up for the draft, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's say things don't go quite as planned as far as being a part of the draft. Would you consider being an undrafted free agent?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I understand, especially what comes with being really a FCS prospect in general, but HBCU prospect on top of that. I mean,
Yeah.
I know what comes with that. Honestly, you kind of get overlooked just off the basis of where you went to school at. honestly. And so, I mean, even at an FCS school, it's kind of like that. And so it's like you have to push really hard to even get drafted in the first place. So with undrafted free agency, that doesn't scare me in any way, shape, or form. I'm no stranger to adversity. If people that really knew my story, like, it's been a lot. And I still made it happen every time. So that's the mindset that I
Okay.
have. I don't let anything hold me back. I don't let anything that anybody says about me, their views, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. As long as if I get an opportunity, I'm 100% confident that I will make it happen. And so that's really all that I can control. I control what I control. If somebody wants to draft me, that would be a blessing, like a super blessing. But if somebody doesn't want to draft me and they would rather bring me on as an undrafted free agent and see what I have in that light, then I'll go out there and give the same effort that I would if I was to get drafted.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
November is American Diabetes Month. And while nearly half of us have diabetes or prediabetes, every story is personal. There are stories of strength.
Every day is different, not one day is the same.
Hard work.
No es tenerle miedo realmente a la enfermedad, es saber cómo combatir la enfermedad.
And heartbreak.
When she passed away, it was because of diabetes.
But no matter your diabetes story, we fight for you and to find a cure. Join us at diabetes.org.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
And filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax Do It Yourself.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
So at the end of the day, I'm just looking for an opportunity to go out there and show what I got, and I'll handle the rest.
Love it. Great mindset. That's what you have to be, positive throughout all the whole negativity, or if it is perceived negative. But you got to shut out the noise and keep focused on the goal, right? And what is it about you, Bison, that you guys do such a good job in the classroom as well as on the field? What does Coach Scott do for you guys to be able to get y'all to that point?
I feel like it's really, of course there are little incentives and stuff. You might get a championship dinner if you have a good GPA and you perform on the field and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
If you did that for all 4 quarters, there might be a championship dinner at the end of the semester or at the end of the year or stuff like that. Little incentives like that. But honestly, I feel like it just comes down to the type of person that you are. Like, are you somebody who wants to, finish all the way through with what you started? I know for me personally, I started here at Howard to get my degree. All my family members and stuff, they encouraged me, like, yeah, Howard is a great school for you to get a degree from and that kind of thing. So, it was always important for me to finish my degree while also, still focusing on being the best football player and the best athlete that I could be at the same exact time. And I know, my grandmother, she'll never let me live it down if I didn't go out there and get my degree on top of being a great football player. So,
that's what grandma's supposed to do.
I always got voices like that in the back of my head, man. So, Coach Scott, honestly, it makes it easy. We got practice at 3 p.m. You finish practice and you got the whole rest of your day to do your homework, do whatever you need to do, and really all the time before that for class, homework, and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it honestly makes it easy. It's all on you. It's just about what do you want to go and be great.
Interesting that you say that, because part of being great is being pretty well rounded, right?
Yep.
And as far as what you have been able to accomplish, great. On the field is great. In the classroom, great. What about in the community? What do you do outside of Howard University that focuses on helping people in the community?
I've actually, I have a younger brother, so I've done a lot with him. Just him and his friends going around, helping local events, different camps, 7-on-7s, those type of
Really?
things. Yep. But
Cool.
then also like in the summer, I interned for my aunt, and so I used to work in George Washington Hospital as like what do I want to call it? Kind of like patient income, like patient entry, where you take all their information and those kind of things. So I mean, it's really just interesting and kind of like fun to just interact with different people in the community, especially the DC community, because you get a wide variety of different types of people, different people that come through, and just like interacting with them, hearing their stories, kind of explaining myself, to other people around them. I really do in the future want to, get around the kids more, possibly even have my own camp, or just honestly, honestly my mind just keeps going and going because there's so many things that I would want to do and that I would want to bring back to my community and bring back here, because I know of all the talent and all the just bright minds that there are right here in PG County where I'm from, that they just need something behind them, and like a good push behind them to get them going. And I already know it's so many successful people that can come out of here because there's so have come out of here, and it's just such a successful and just affluent area that I just would like to see keep going.
Yeah. Look, you talked about that, and a lot of times people from your hood or your neighborhood or where you're growing up with, the high school, they look at you as, man, you like a superstar, so to speak, right? But also the impact you can have on just reaching back and just touching them from time to time to see how they're doing, that really is special for those people. So let's see here. Let's see if we can get your video here so people can see a little bit about you.
Okay.
There we are. Now, what's this we're looking at?
This right here, I believe this is the video I posted either on Instagram or Twitter, but it was essentially the same one. But all of these clips were from this past season, so this wasn't really like a career highlights per se. This was more so of like a 2024 season type of clip. But yeah, I mean, showcases some of my best plays. I had 3 picks last season. I had a couple forced fumbles, and then I had also a fumble recovery or 2, I believe, as well.
Now, on that one, we just saw a pick. What was that pick? Which game was that from?
That pick right there was from Dale State. So that was a 3rd down right there. I believe it was like 3rd and 8. We were playing cover 0 man. I had went down and pressed. They ran a curl route. They tried to run a curl route to the sticks to get a first down, and I had ended up stopping it. It's actually crazy because that's one of my former teammates right there that I was going against. My boy.
I'm pretty sure he said like, "Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it."
Yeah. I mean, it goes both ways because he actually just transferred. He's he just transferred over to Troy University in Alabama. So made a move up to FBS. So I'm rooting for him. Hope the best for him too. So
awesome. All right, there you go. That was a good pick there, Robert. Let's see. You got your dance routine down.
Look,
against NCCU.
Yep. Yeah, that was North Carolina Central right there, a blocked field goal. And then this was another pick that I had in that Dell State game as well.
2.
But,
wow.
Yep, had 2 that game. I believe this was a 3rd or 4th down stop versus Tennessee State on homecoming. Acrobatic toe tuck fumble recovery. You don't see that often.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. A forced fumble on the quarterback right there. You know. But yeah, I would say it's crazy because it's like I just want people to see like my game as a whole. I'm physical still, even though most people see me as just a coverage covered merchant. A guy who really sits there and can cover anybody. That's what I want to be seen as myself, is a guy who can go out there and line up against anybody and lock in and lock them up. But I'm also physical. I do it all. I'll tackle, I'll run around, all that. So I could do it all, man. That's what I want people to see for sure.
Good. Have you ever done a lot of work on special teams?
Yes, sir. So I would say kind of how it goes at Howard. Specifically with like punt and stuff is a little different than I know how some other teams do it, because my freshman year I was on every special teams. I was on kickoff. They even had me front line on kick return for a little stint. That was crazy because I was like 165 pounds out there on front line of kick return. But yeah, I would say I've been on kickoff every year at Howard. I've been on kickoff return my freshman year, and then I've been on punt. I was on punt my early years. The only reason why I wasn't on punt in these last couple years was because they used to not really want guys to go run down on punt and then turn around and be at corner on defense. And you just ran full speed on punt. Now you turn around, you're on defense. You got to run with 2 go balls back to back. Now you got to come out the game, because obviously you just ran, full speed, 40 yards down the field, back to back to back to back plays, So I didn't play punt this year, but I played punt. I played special teams, and I understand the value of special teams, especially trying to make a career in the NFL. If you're not the guy, if you're not, the starting corner, or you're not the starting guy at whatever position you play, you'll have to make a role on special teams. And so I'm open to that. I love special teams just because it's one-on-one. As them all one-on-one matchups. You got to go win your matchup, and you got to go make the play. So I'm open to special teams. I love special teams, and if that's how I got to make my role, I'll do it that way as well.
Yeah. Terrell Davis, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
If he did not have this big special teams play, I think he was like 3rd string. They're about to cut him and everything. And if he didn't have this big special teams play, and I think they were broadcasting the game from Tokyo at that time, and it was 2 plays he had on special teams. That's how he made the Denver Broncos. Then all of a sudden, of course, his career shot off from there. But think about that. Mike Shanahan would have made the biggest mistake of his life by letting him go.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, however it has to go. If I'm only playing special teams and that's the only value that I'm bringing to a team at a certain time, I'll have no problem with that. Even knowing that eventually, when I do get my shot, I'll make it happen. Playing defense, playing corner, playing nickel, playing whatever.
Gotcha. All right, let's talk about who do you pattern your game after?
That's tough. I mean, I wouldn't say that I pattern my game off of
who do you look up to
as far
admire?
But I was about to say, yeah, but I definitely admire somebody like a Darrell Revis or a Champ Bailey or let me see, even Charles Woodson, because those guys right there, like, especially when we're talking about Revis, I would feel like similar to what happened kind of during my Howard career, especially my junior year, because I had a crazy good sophomore year. I guess most people would say I had, I believe, double-digit PBUs. I think I had 10 PBUs and an interception my sophomore year. And so then we come back.
That's pretty good. That's real good.
We come back the next season as a junior, and I'm really not getting targeted as much. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still, covering guys, locking them up, but I'm just not getting as many targets. I think I only had 5 PBUs. I didn't have any picks my junior year. And so, from the outside looking in, if you're not really keen on the corner position or like really knowing what to look for, it looks like, oh yeah, he didn't do anything that year. He had a down year. But if you were to really watch the film, it was similar to like a Darrell Revis. He doesn't have 100 interceptions, but he's known for locking guys up, Revis Island. guys only getting, one catch for 5 yards. And that's kind of, I guess, who I would say I pattern my game off of right there.
Yeah.
I was just fine, I won't say just fine not having any picks because we wanted turnovers. Of course, you want to get the ball back to the offense. But if I'm sitting here and I'm only allowing guys to have 15 yards in our matchup, I did my job. And that guy, you know what I'm saying, that guy didn't do his job. So, that's how I look at it.
Yeah. It's like the argument Asante Samuel had
Yeah.
out there against Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Not too many people were trying to throw Prime's way.
Facts.
know. So
Facts.
there's more to the story than just the numbers, guys.
Exactly.
And that's how you have to look at it. When it comes to any outside hobbies, what are those for you?
Really just kicking back. Honestly, I do like playing video games. I'm a big NCAA college football guy now. I used to be a big Madden guy, but I like the NCAA. That's always been one of my games right there. But honestly, just watching movies, watching TV sometimes. I like that. Going on walks sometimes just to clear my mind. We got a nice trail behind where I live now, so sometimes I'll just go on a walk or a jog, just to clear my mind. I really never got too big into any of the traditional hobbies. I know a lot of guys like fishing and stuff like that. I guess I'm kind of a suburban guy. I don't even think I've been fishing before, honestly. But really, I like to just chill in the house, honestly. As an athlete, you do so much. You got everything's kind of like laid out for you. Like you got to be here at this time, you got to do here at this time, you got to do this, go there, blah 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 blah. So it's like to just have some time to just sit in the house and just relax and watch a movie. That's honestly the things that I like, or play the game. Those are the things I like to do.
People take that for granted, but it does mean a lot just to pull up. Yeah. What about do you listen to any type of music? What's your favorite out there?
I would say I listen to music. I listen to a lot of really just kind of rap and R&B stuff for real. My favorite artist all time probably Kodak Black. I feel like he's
Really?
He's really
Kodak
underrated.
Black.
Yeah, I feel like he's really underrated, really, as like a lyricist, honestly. Like a lot of people kind of just, view him as just some crazy, doing, doing whatever, saying whatever type of guy. But, I listen to a lot of his music and it kind of resonates with me sometimes. He got some real lyrical, insightful stuff if you really listen.
Who was it? I was listening to an interview. Was it LL Cool J or it was Ice Cube? They were talking, one of those guys, or Method Man, one of those guys who talked about Kodak Black and how well he puts his music together, man. So
most definitely.
Cool. Awesome. I can't tell you what he said. He raps, but all right. Have you been to any concerts lately?
I haven't been to a concert in a long. Actually, I went to a concert last year. It was No Cap and Lil Papa concert. So two rap artists from now. But I really don't go to concerts too often or anything like that. I really don't even really go out anywhere for real too much, to be honest. Like I said, like when I'm
stay out of trouble, man. That's what I like.
Stay out of trouble. Like when I'm not working out or something, you'll probably catch me right here in the house where I'm at.
Gotcha.
I was thinking about maybe going to the the Defenders game out here later today, but I don't know. Might be right here in the house watching it.
Yeah. It's funny you said that because a lot of people don't realize, one, Reggie Barlow was an HBCU guy.
Yeah.
Now he's over at Tennessee State, of course. And I had a chance to interview Coach Barlow last week. And Shannon Harris, the interim head coach, is an HBCU guy himself.
Right.
So go and support those Defenders. I love what they were able to do, beating the Stallions last week. So kudos to them. All right. Any last thoughts that you'd like to share? If a scout was watching this particular video right now, at this point, what will you have to tell those guys in the National Football League? Why should they take a flyer out on Robert Jones III?
True. I would just tell him, just check me out. I mean, the film definitely backs it up. I have great FBS games on film. I had a good, very solid game versus USF. Had an interception. QB hurry, multiple tackles, all that kind of stuff versus USF my sophomore year. I had a great game versus Rutgers this past season. So if you want to see the FBS tape or higher levels of competition film, it's all there. I had a great showing at my pro day, ran fast, did everything I need to do at the pro day, and then on top of that, just you're getting a guy who's a great football mind, like really loves and studies the game. A guy that will sit there and break formations down, sit there and watch film and gain and pick up tendencies, all that kind of stuff from D&D, split recognition, all that kind of stuff that you want to see high level guys do. And then on top of that, it's just really truly a great person if you get to know me. Like, really will put the team first, not selfish, not scared to, take a step back and, like you said, have a special teams role, not sitting here like I gotta be the guy, I gotta be the man. Like I said, in my career, there's been few times where all the eyes were on me and all the spotlight was on me. Like all the time, there's been a lot of times where there were other people who, got more shine than me or, got more attention than me. But at the same time, when you give me a look, it's like, okay, that guy over there, he's kind of doing his thing too. That guy over there,
Right.
he's a really good player. He's really smart,
Right.
blah, blah, blah. So if you just get to know me and if you actually, made an effort to, kind of hear where I'm coming from or the things that I've picked up over the course of my career and my life, you'll be, happily surprised, I'll say.
Good, good. Who gave you the best advice over at the HBCU Legacy
At the HBCU
that
Legacy
you
Bowl,
still
give me,
think about today?
I would say it probably would had to be Coach Gerald from over at Morgan State. Just saying, um, you know, to do because I guess there was kind of a little bit of speculation about guys opting out to not do some things at the combine or not do things at the Legacy Bowl and X, Y, and Z, and it was
Right.
just like this is your when he said like this is your really only chance to really get in front of all 32 teams, most likely, because we come from an HBCU and we may not have all 32 teams at our pro day or stuff like that, to go out there and just give it your all and then let the chips fall where they may. So that's kind of how I approach everything that I do. Just go out there, give it my all, let the chips fall where they may. um I've he said to me, he's like, you put everything on tape that you need to put on tape. He was like, once you go back and you just clean up some of these other numbers from the combine, you'll be good. And so it's like, that was kind of what stuck with me, just making sure that knowing that I am a good player. I put good things on tape. I know that I can go out there and compete with the best of whoever. So at the end of the day, just I put the numbers up there now, and so I just, let the chips fall where they may, let God do what he does. And when I do get that opportunity, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to make it happen. So,
Yeah, yeah. Good stuff. Have you and Mr. Gallup had a chance to chat it up recently about what's going on with your draft process?
yeah, for sure. I was just talking to Kenny not too long ago. So, he's been doing well. He's been hearing from a good amount of teams. We actually got another guy on my team that's been hearing, his stock has been going up crazy, especially
Who's
because
that?
Xavier Robu. I'll say you definitely gotta check him out. He jumped to 43 at vertical at the combine and at our pro day.
43.
43. Yes, I would say, and he's that guy, man. We came in together. He plays free safety, number 12 at Howard, and then we got another DB, in our secondary that's also been hearing from some teams. Carson Hinton, number 2, and so we had a hell of a secondary, man. Our DB coach, Kaishan Jarrett, he's now the defensive coordinator at Howard. he got us right, and he's the truth, man. He you know, he taught us the game from, you know, from scratch. And so just grateful for him, grateful for all those guys that I got to play with in our Howard, you know, that are getting NFL opportunities now, even the ones on the offensive side of the ball. So it's just all been a blessing, man. And, you know, yeah, it's been great.
All right. Well, Robert, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man, because I know just listening to you how dedicated you are in getting that opportunity. And I think if you do get the opportunity, like most have shown in the past,
yep,
you will take full advantage of it.
Yes, sir.
I remember when James Houston was going through his situation, and no one drafted him, but you saw what he was able to do that first year as well. So same for you, man.
Yes,
I'll
sir.
be paying attention to you. Follow us on HBCU Legends, and as well as me at KTMOZ on X as well. I'll try to be able to follow you and let me know whatever else I could be able to do. And I always tell people, now you're part of the HBCU Legends family. You can't get rid of us, no matter what you try. And I have a vested interest in trying to help you guys out because I really believe in HBCUs because I'm born and raised and it's in my blood as well. Okay.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that for sure. I would say
All
I'll
right.
definitely be giving a follow, and definitely encourage anybody who watching this to give a follow as well.
Yeah, if you know of any of your fellow teammates who'd like to be a part of their process and what we could be able to spotlight them, let us know how we can help them as well. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right. Robert, tell everybody how they can follow you on the World Wide Web.
Yes, sir. I would say my X and Instagram, they're both at R Jones with 2 S's, so JONESS, and then the number 3. So R Jones 3 on Twitter or X and Instagram. So that's where you can find me at. You know, I try and engage with anybody who hits me up because, you know, I used to do the same thing when I was a little kid. I hit people up and see if they respond and try and just pick their brain and stuff. So, you know, anybody who knows me can vouch. You know, if you hit me up and I see it, I'll respond. So,
all right. I think you have a bright future ahead, man. I really do.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All
I
right.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. That's Mr. Robert Jones III from Howard. Bad school, but no, good school, great school. But congratulations to you, man. And I hope everything goes well with you in the draft process. Guys, don't forget, follow us at HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated, and you can be able to check us out online on all the social media accounts at HBCU Legends, as well as on YouTube. I'm Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends, as well as the Black Sports Insiders. Thank you very much, Robert. Take care. And we'll be following that. Okay.
Yes, sir. Take care. Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome.